Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome in, Woodward Sports on a Wednesday. We got a big game going on later today. The Detroit Tigers host a playoff game, and we will be here after the show with our watch party, so don't go anywhere. Braylon Edwards is in the building. No Maz today, but of course, to my left, my man KG. What's good, baby?
Hey, feeling good, man. Let's go get them, Tigers. We are ending this shit in Detroit, man.
Yes,
I'm ready.
sir. Oh,
I'm ready.
You don't want to go back to Cleveland, huh?
No, sir.
Me
Why would I
neither.
want to do that?
Me
But
neither.
hey, but even if we do, you know that man is waiting.
Oh, yeah.
You know that man is
He
waiting.
sure is. He sure is. And then Pistol Pete, Bagel Pete,
Pete.
Pyro Pete. There's so many Pete, Sneaky Pete. I know
Guys.
you got some money today on the game.
Let him cook.
No. We're going to start the show right. Eat 'em up, Tigers. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up, Tigers. Eat 'em up. Let's go, Tigers, today, baby. We got money on the game, my friend. Let's do it up.
Now, Pete, I know you got some parlays. I know you got some sneaky money in. Where are you putting your money today on the Tigers or the Cleveland Guardians? Who you got?
I'm telling you, man, Kenny G and I were conferring, and Kenny G can confirm this. We were conferring Riley Green is overdue today, man.
Yes.
I think Riley Green is going to be getting a hit today. I think that, now we know that Mr. Montero is only going to likely go about 2 or 3 innings. I'm going to take him under 2.5 strikeouts on our Caesars Sportsbook app, and I'm also going to take Montero to be under 1.5 earned runs. I think he's going to be flawless today.
Well,
That's my bet. Three-leg parlay.
Pete, you were showing us some history of Cleveland batters against Montero.
That's right.
How did they look?
They look pretty good. Montero shuts these boys down. Only 2 hits. I don't have the stats again in front of me, but only 2 Cleveland batters, 2 hits in, I think it was 20 at-bats against Montero. He owns them.
My man,
What's
Anson
up, Braylon?
Wednesday, like he always is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back to the show. My apologies. Had a situation I had to take care of, so forgive me. But I'm here and I'm ready to do the show.
Jets trying to sign you?
No,
Right.
Is that what it was?
That's
I'm
what it
gonna
was.
tell you like this.
They're smart if they do.
At 41, out of shape. If they try to give me $5 million a year, I turn it down right now. I don't want to be a part of the you know what show.
Yeah.
That is New York.
Please don't.
Please
boy.
don't. No. I'm a part behind the scenes because I'm an alum. So I love my Jets. I love how they treated me. I love how they treat me. But Woody Johnson, he's always been this interesting character that thinks he's doing the right thing, but he really and look, Woody treated me good when I was there, but he has no clue. He has no clue what's going on. Look, Robert Saleh caught a stray, and he called me and went, look, you can say what you want to, and we talked about it yesterday. And I want to actually get into some Lions stuff, and then we'll go to the Tiger stuff maybe the last 10 minutes before we break. Sound good? I mean, the last 20 minutes.
Lions
or so.
need love too, man.
Yes,
We don't forgot about
We'll get the
that.
Lions in first, and we'll get to Major League Baseball because it was a night last night as well. We'll get to that. But Robert Saleh, look, for all the at the podium snafus or maybe saying too much, at the end of the day, he was not pulling the trigger when when they drafted Zach Wilson.
Yep.
He wasn't pulling the trigger when they signed Aaron Rodgers
Yep.
and signed the keys to the city away. Aaron Rodgers has been at the crux, on offense at least, since he's been there. If you look at him on defense, okay,
Strong.
Is it the defense's fault
Nope.
that we're here this season?
Not
Was
at
it
all.
the defense's
Total
fault?
defense been great
Last
since
year,
he's been
was it
there.
the defense's fault? Sauce Gardner's rookie year when he was all pro as a rookie. No, it wasn't his problem. So I don't think anything or anyone that comes in can change what's happening on the offense. I think Aaron has moved him out. We know this is what Aaron does, and I feel like it would have been better last year. But I think this year, coming off the injury and knowing that clock is ticking, knowing that pressure's mounting, because it was what? Super Bowl or bust.
Yes, sir. They got too
I
much
think
time.
now that's what you're seeing, Aaron. Like, everybody's panicking. It was a panic fire. It was a Aaron Rodgers type of move. And Woody lied when Woody came out and said, like, no, I didn't talk to anybody. Wink,
You know he
wink,
did.
Woody Johnson. So
Woody Johnson has never fired a coach in season, and he had Adam Gase at one point.
Ooh,
And he
good
never
call.
fired a coach during the season. So that just tell you what it is right there.
So, we just put up a graphic on the screen saying that Aaron Rodgers had no knowledge of this firing until he came into the facility. I'm not sure how much of that I believe. I would have thought that this was an Aaron Rodgers push move. Now, I'm going to
100%.
go a little conspiracy because
You saw when he pushed him on the sideline during the game.
Yeah,
Right.
He scores
yeah.
a touchdown.
Right.
he
The very
comes over.
serious look.
Ain't no hug.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the political answer in the post game news conference. But we were talking conspiracy theory before the show started. Now the Muslim League has
Yes.
brought up charges against the Jets because they believe that he was fired for wearing a Lebanon flag on his arm.
could be.
There's a lot more
We
to
talked
come out
about-
on this story still.
Yes.
We
And-
talked about that yesterday, and all the coaches of different ethnicities, I think, or different cultures, I think they all had that on there. But I think I did hear that as well. You know, the community that we live here in Michigan, you know, this area. So
Shout out
probably we're hearing
Dearborn.
a lot more of that than other places. But I did hear that other coaches are allowed to express that. So take that one with a grain of salt.
Yeah, also
The
sleeper.
Muslim League is not taking it with a grain of salt.
No,
Kosher
facts.
salt.
100%.
And also-
as they shouldn't.
Yeah, no,
This
for
is
real.
what you're supposed to do when one of yours gets in trouble or gets fired or whatever. You're supposed to come to the aid and figure things out.
No, big facts. And Sleeper NFL, which is a verified NFL account. Rumor on the street is Robert Saleh was going to fire Nathaniel Hackett. And we all know who Aaron Rodgers' homeboy is. Nathaniel Hackett, man. So that I think it played a part. There's no way you can tell me Aaron Rodgers didn't talk to Woody Johnson. There's no way.
So is that like a preemptive breakup before you know
Yes.
you're going to break up?
Pretty much.
That's
Robert
right.
Saleh wanted to save his hide, so he was going to get rid of Nathaniel Hackett.
Last thing on that, we did talk about this too. Even with all that said, they got a game coming up tomorrow night. If they win that game, they're 3-3, and they're number one in that division, the AFC East. Moving forward, do you think that this decision, Aaron Rodgers, are going to take a step in the right direction, or do you think this is going to be a continued part of the S show and do what it's been doing, regressing?
I was never fully on board with this being a playoff team.
Yeah, you said that.
I thought they were at best.
Shout out to you for
borderline.
the Commanders and Jaden Daniels.
That's
I
right.
gave you a shot the other day.
I appreciate
gave you
that, man.
credit.
I appreciate it. I should have put my money where my mouth was with
It'd
him.
be like
fact.
that.
You're
I
right.
got him
like
in all
that.
my dynasty
Trust
leagues,
me,
so
I'm
that's
killing it right now in the
He's
picks.
so fun to watch. I have watched almost every snap of his as well as Caleb's, and like Caleb's coming along, but Jaden is just a technician, man. He
Yeah.
does so many things well, and they still have the handcuffs on him. But yeah, I think that the Jets might see a little bit of a spring off of this move. The problem is that they're going to London. This is the 13th and 14th game. I don't know if you know this, but the Jaguars will be staying in London for 2 straight games. This is the 13th and 14th game out there. Now, I know it's
I think the Jets are still there.
Oh, are they? They
Yeah.
played last. Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
that could help them. Normally, I see these teams that aren't used to going to London. They go over, they deal with the jet lag, they deal with all of the pomp and circumstance. It's kind of like a playoff game in terms of the media coverage that they have to go through when they get off the plane. But I could see this giving them a little boon, but I still think that they're really a team that probably misses the playoffs.
All right, look, let's put a pin in that and let's get to our own.
Yes, sir. Let's go
The-
get those gritty cats in
The
Detroit,
Gritty
baby.
Cats sitting at 3-1 in division, just coming fresh off a bye, playing against the Cowboys, the team that just always seems like something goes wrong down there in Dallas. Couple sound bites today. What we got? Let's talk about Jared Goff, because it seemed like Jared Goff, he took that step that the Lions wanted him to take this year. Now, granted, the whole offense looked great. Kudos to Ben Johnson, but 18 for 18, 292, like that is just what it is, man. Let's hear the soundbite on Jared Goff.
I saw you shared on Instagram the home run that Kerry Carpenter did last night. Can you just put into words what this sports city is going through right now from your seat?
Yeah, it's fun. The fans are getting to experience what they should experience. Hopefully, we're giving them some fun Sundays, and the Tigers keep winning games, and it keeps on getting more fun.
Do you get to be a fan and take off the quarterback hat for a minute when you watch these other teams around you succeed and
Sure.
be young again a little
Sure.
bit?
Yeah, I wish I could go tomorrow, but unfortunately, I can't make it. But yeah, I was watching yesterday on TV, and when that happened, I was pretty fired up.
Now, that one's on me. That was Jared Goff talking about the Detroit Tigers and talking about the prominent sports town that Detroit is. For somebody like Jared Goff, when you first come to Detroit and you got fans trying to tell you, like, nigga, this is a sports town. Like,
Mecca,
this is-
baby.
And you're looking at the Tigers, you're looking at the Pistons, you play for the Lions, you're looking at the
You're
Red
looking at
Wings.
all four,
You're
man.
like, sports team. But now I think with the success of the Tigers and the Red Wings kind of almost getting there, shout out to the Red Wings to start the season tonight at LCA. They're delaying the game until 8 so that people get a chance to finish watching the Tigers and the Guardians in Game 3.
Smart.
But now you look at it and the Lions are popping. So it's fun for him to see what Detroit is as a sports town. Because I think even as Detroiters, we may forget how strong and how great this is as a sports town.
Well, you have a decade of irrelevance, and it's hard to remember unless you've been around for a long time.
Irrelevance. That's crazy.
That's right. For sport irrelevance. Now, I want to know which one of you guys had money on the Tigers winning a championship before the Lions at the start of 2024?
Nope.
Shoot, 2 weeks ago. Even 2 weeks ago.
Nobody.
We were just asking that. We had Boys and Girls Club, Southeastern Detroit. Appreciate you guys for coming in. Chris Kyles.
Yeah.
And we asked Chris that question. We said, who's going to win first? And he said, the Lions, obviously riding that wave. But I said, oh, Chris, you do realize right now they're in the ALDS. the ALDS moving forward. So the Tigers got a real shot.
How wild is it going to be 40 years later to beat the Padres again for a World Series?
It's
happening, Detroit.
Yeah.
Bet it.
I don't know if the Padres get by the Mets.
The Mets are hot.
Like, the Padres are the best team in baseball right now.
But you know what? Sports love story.
The 8th and 9th.
40 years later, the Padre Busters return.
Yeah. That is one hell of a storyline. Another storyline is, regardless of how good the Lions have played this year, there is still areas to improve. We as fans, we look at the secondary, Terry out a little bit. Hey, we need that. Also, to the defensive line. No Davenport. How's that gonna look? You want to see the cohesion on offense. Here's the coach, Dan Campbell, talking about they do need to improve.
The emphasis really is still on improving. Like, we have to improve, and it's really about, all right, we got to, we did some things on Monday night that were, and that's more what we're looking for. All right, and so now that's the floor. How do we continue to play even better than that? How do we clean up some of the things that got us in trouble in that game? It wasn't all perfect, and so I think you just continue to strive that way and try to be. You're trying to play a perfect game. It's your golf. Golf did, but you're trying to coach it. You're trying to play it, knowing it's not going to happen. But it doesn't mean you're not trying to do everything you can to play as perfect as you can play. So we got things to clean up, and so it really is. It's about improving, man. That's what you got to do during the week.
I'll come to you on this one, Anson. He says they're not perfect, and no team in the NFL is right now. And that's the thing. They're not perfect, but no team in the NFL looks like the team. They look like that team to be. Even the Chiefs, who are 5-0, they look susceptible as well. What say you about improving and where the Lions are?
I think improvement is the perfect word. We have watched this team mature each week. We've got – through 5 weeks, we've played opponents. Through 4 weeks, we played some really good opponents. You look at the Bears, and they're 3-2. They've played 4 terrible teams.
Yeah.
But what I've seen out of the offense was a really good first week, a terrible second week, and since then, the last 2 weeks, they have focused on the ground game. Their passing game has gotten better. They've involved more guys. They've started to get Laporta involved a little bit. We've seen J-Mo really have the look of a wide receiver one. The running game is really starting to find their groove. But then on the defensive side of the ball, this is a team that's not giving up points, except for maybe one game. And it was really because of the gameplay, the fact that we were ahead for so long. I have watched everybody on this team get better. Now, Terrion Arnold, as we've talked about, I wasn't comfortable with the amount of penalties he got because he's a physical guy. We saw more of that last week. That's something that's got to tighten up. Yeah. If we can eliminate penalties, this team is, they're just one of the toughest outs in the NFL right now because of the fact that they are growing and becoming better week to week. What I'm going to say about this defense, they will be a top 8 defense by the time the playoffs run around. We already know it's a top 3 offense.
I think they're top 12 now. I think I saw something
that makes sense.
20. I think 20 points is all they're allowing. I think they're 12, which is funny because just 3 more points will make you 28th in the NFL. Wow. It's only the margin right now in terms of defense is only 3 points or so.
And we're doing it against class teams of this league right now.
This is true. KG, come to you. What about the Lions right now? Because we said yesterday, Anson agrees. I think Pete's on the same team. The Lions are the best in the league. You said even above the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
What is it? Or they're 1-2. It doesn't matter. What about them makes you comfortable that they're in that spot?
If you look at the roster, we got pretty much everything you can ask for. I mean, from a running game standpoint, from a passing game standpoint, the defense as well. I felt like the defense played really good. Of course, that Seahawks game got a little out of control, but when you make a team one-dimensional like the Seahawks and they have a great receiver like DK Metcalf and a serviceable quarterback like Geno Smith, you're going to see these numbers inflate, man. But I'm not necessarily worried. I like what I've seen so far. Of course, injuries are a thing that we're dealing with right now. Luckily, we got Frank Ragnow back at practice. We got Brian Branch back at practice as well. So I think they're lining up, the way they're supposed to be. You kind of hate that this bye week was so early because it's about to be a grind for the rest of this, regular season schedule. But the Lions are coming together at the right time. So I would just caution fans to stick with the team, stick with the defense. They're going to be fine. And the offense is finally in rhythm. And I think we will see more of what we saw from that Seahawks game rather than the first 3 weeks.
We're pretty much at the 1/3 mark of the season. 5 games down, or at least 5 weeks down. Lions only played 4, but 5 weeks down. Pete, do me a favor. Put up those division records. Let's take a look at what's going on in the NFC versus what we thought maybe in the preseason versus what's going on now. You look at the NFC East, 11-8. The NFC East is it's Dallas, Philly. Philly definitely not the team we thought they were. And Dallas is exactly the team you and I thought they were. And look, they got a good win in Pittsburgh. That's great. You got to give
somebody had to win.
Somebody had to win that game, and Pittsburgh still is damn sure didn't want to win it. You look at the NFC South, and an interesting division. Anson, I'll come to you on this one. The Falcons, they beat the Bucks. The Bucks look like the tops in the division, first 3 games of the season. And then the Falcons win. Seems like Kirk Cousins has found his way. And also the Saints, Derek Carr, seem like water found its level.
Yeah.
And they're back to what they're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were excited about the Saints through the first 2 weeks. I think that they've been...
They beat the Cowboys.
That's right. I think that they've been exposed to who they truly are. Their offense isn't that good. Their defense isn't that good. Carolina is absolute trash. Doesn't matter who's under center there, whether it's Dalton or Bryce. You look at the Falcons and you see a quarterback, go green, in Kirk Cousins, who has knocked the rust off. And if you didn't believe it before this last game, you believe it after this last game. He looked phenomenal. And then you've got Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, I don't care if you don't believe in them or not. They have a great running game, especially when you add in Bucky now. They got a 1-2 punch there. You add in the great wide receiving. Cade Otton's playing really well at tight end, and you know that defense is ready to play. They're a playoff team. I can't tell you, though, who's going to win this division, but I do believe that 2 teams will come out of it to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Falcons, I think it's the team that just played each other last week on Thursday Night Football, and it was a hell of a game. The Falcons,
it was a
Cousins,
great Thursday
509 yards passing. Not bad for the old man. Pete, put the rest of the divisions up. We'll dive into the NFC. Before we get to North, let's do West. NFC West, man. Pete, I'll start with you. It's ugly. The San Francisco 49ers, they can't seem to get out of their own way. A lot of that probably stems with the issues they had in the offseason. And then you look at Seattle, 1 week against the Lions, they look like the team. And then all of a sudden they lose to the Giants. But I think the Cardinals right now are the surprise in that division. And I think they actually lead right now. Is that sustainable for these Cardinals and Kyler Murray?
If Kyler Murray stays healthy, it'll be sustainable. I think that the Arizona Cardinals are definitely proving that they want to be the class of the West. I mean, you got the 49ers who are kind of looking a little iffy right now. Once they get a little bit healthier, obviously you're not going to see Christian McCaffrey, I don't think, at all this season. That injury that's another story. But anyway, I think that Seattle looks good on offense. Geno Smith is definitely playing well. But the problem with Seattle is I don't know if Seattle's defense will be able to sustain all season long, especially if the Arizona offense continues to thrive like the Lions offense is thriving as well. I think that Arizona is using Marvin Harrison exactly correctly. I think that Trey McBride, their tight end, is coming into play as well. I like how the Arizona Cardinals run their offense. Their defense is keeping them in the games, especially against their divisional rivals. So I think it is sustainable, Bray, and we should be careful about how we approach the Arizona Cardinals.
I definitely agree with you about that. Right now they look good. Things could change, but they do play for that coach, Gannon, Jonathan Gannon. They're playing well. They played for him last year. They just had a bunch of injuries. KG, I'll come to you for the Kings in the North, talking about that NFC North. Put up one last time.
Yep. Before
the season started, Maz said that the AFC North, and respectably was the best division. And I said, you know what? I think it's the NFC North. I think you know what Green Bay is. You know what the Lions obviously are. I think the Vikes are going to be a surprise. And we both thought the Bears would get into the playoffs. 14-5. They have the best division, I want to say, in football. Definitely in the NFC.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers are legit. Chicago seems like there's something there. The defense played well all year. Is it possible for 4 teams in one division to make the playoffs?
That's a tough stretch. That's a tough stretch.
I
think
had to throw it out there. I'm going to be doing my job.
The East and the South might have something to say about that, but you got to commend the NFC North. And really, when you look at it, it's the coaching, man.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, you got Ben Johnson here, you got Matt LaFleur, you know,
Kevin O'Connell.
And as much as I don't care for Kevin O'Connell, he's a good coach, man. And they have gotten the most out of that Vikings team that we thought would be bottom feeders, man. So, and even the Bears, man, you starting to see the Bears turn it around. I know they played some weaker teams, so that's probably, you know, the reason for that. Yeah. But they are still a force, man. They still have a lot of talent on that team, especially defensively. So, I mean, this is the best division in football, especially if we're talking in terms of right now. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, when the marathon concludes where everybody stacks up. But when you look at the Eagles, man, you look at these other NFC North teams, the 49ers, a lot of teams that we thought would be top runners are starting to falter a little bit because of injury and because of bad play. So you never know.
Rank your NFC North right now, 1 to 4.
Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, and Chicago. I've been on record all offseason. Bears are not making the playoffs.
You don't believe in the Vikings?
I do believe in the Vikings, but Green Bay and Detroit are just that good.
Yeah, that was my next question.
They are just that good.
How far from Detroit is Green Bay in your estimation? Are they close?
I mean, I would put Green Bay and Minnesota really at a 2A, 2B, and it's so close to Detroit. I mean, if Detroit splits both of those series, this division's up for grabs. If they can sweep just one of those 2 teams, then I think that we win the division. But you know, I got hell thrown all over me for saying that Minnesota was real for 4 weeks now. And this is a team that the Lions have a hard time beating twice in any season. Green Bay and even the Bears as well. I think
look at last year with the Minnesota Vikings. They had to, like, Mullins almost beat the Lions at 1.1.
Absolutely.
He had 1,000 yards, man, in one game. But
and when I look at the Bears are 3-2 with 4 games against really bad opponents. I think that Caleb, as much as he's progressing and looking better and better each week, his body language tells me that when controversy happens, when things get tough, when he starts playing in division games and maybe losing and seeing some real defenses, I don't think he has the mental makeup. I don't think he's the leader of men that a non-playoff team needs in place to be able to push them over that tipping point to the point where they can make the playoffs. So I don't think they're in. I'm looking at 9 teams right now that I believe have a chance for the playoffs. It's San Francisco and Seattle. It's Washington and Philly. It's Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota, as well as Atlanta and Tampa Bay. And I think that if anybody that misses, it's probably Washington, Seattle, maybe one of the NFC North.
One of the teams you didn't name, the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams have injuries right now, but we've seen them play with two really good teams. Do you think it's a chance for Matt Stafford to make that playoffs once they get some players back, or do you think they're just an okay team?
I just think their defense is beat up, and they don't have a guy named Aaron Donald. You might have heard of him. I think he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot, unanimous. There's a massive hole in the middle of the line for the Rams, and their entire identity for the last decade was predicated on big Aaron Donald setting the table. With him gone, they just have lost that identity. They've lost that toughness. They've lost the ability to win at the line of scrimmage. Now you add in some injuries, some early losses on the season. And again, I wasn't a guy that was all the way on with the Rams making it back. You know, I thought that the loss of Aaron Donald was far understated by the national media, and we're seeing it manifest in what really looks like an average team.
Yeah, man. The Detroit Lions, they play the Cowboys. I guess, let's talk about that game for a little bit. We can preview that. We got 5 minutes for a break. Cowboys, Detroit,
Cowgirls.
Bad blood there, man. Cowgirls, definitely bad blood there. They got to win. And we talked about it. They played against the Steelers. They got to win against the Steelers defense that's been playing really good this year. Actually, I think they lead the league before this last game. What do you think this game will look like? Because obviously there's some animosity and angst from the Lions, rightfully so, after last year in the past. But also Dallas, this is a chance for Dallas to say, hey, you know what? We're still in this thing. We still are here. We just had a couple bumps and bruises early on.
Yeah, this is, I forget who it was in the chat calling me a Lions hater. I'm going to go on record today. We have 4 games. Our next 3 are on the road. We have the advantage of getting 3 at home to start the season. We are going to put it on the Cowgirls. Ooh. We have had this date circled on our calendar just like we did with Seattle. We handle business. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Sea Chickens are a better team than the Cowgirls. And we are going to go into Dallas and shut that crowd up in the first half. And this will be the first game of this 2024 season where the Lions not only jump out to a lead, but they step on throats. And that's what we need to do to start this 4-game series.
What do you think this game looks like, KG?
I think the Lions take this, man. And I know it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a dogfight. But when you look at the Cowboys, we literally, before the Steelers game, were saying they need to save their season because, they are a dysfunctional mess. We already know what's going on with Dak and with CeeDee Lamb and stuff like that. Now they're starting to incur injuries. There's a good chance that Micah Parsons doesn't play in this game. So I think you got to strike while the iron is hot. We all know the history with the Lions in Jerry World. Always some wacky stuff seems to be going on in Jerry World. But the Lions are determined. They feeling, a little bit of angst, like you said, from last year. Yeah. They really want to get this game, just like they really wanted that Seahawks game. This was circled on their calendar. So the Lions offense, I have no doubts that they will come out and look like the offense that we saw in that Seahawks game. They seem to have gotten it together. They seem to be in rhythm, and that defense is really going to be the key. What kind of defense are we going to get? Terry and Arnold, I know he's been flagged a lot. A lot has been made about his play, but I think he's played exceptionally well. It's just all about the pass rush. Can you get to Dak Prescott? Can you put him on the ground? If they do that, then the Lions come out of Jerry World with a victory.
I like all of that, but Pete, at the same time, hocus pocus magic, I do believe that too. It's something about Jerry's World. Refs.
Some about it, right?
Can't get that dub right down there.
We know.
What say you think the hocus pocus and the magic is gone? You think the Lions are that much better this year?
The Lions are going to kill this team. I'm going to tell you why. The referees are going to have a really hard time not doing this because they're going to be doing this a lot. Hey. They better start doing bench presses because the Dallas Cowgirls rush defense is horrendous,
and they have no Micah Parsons. Possibly
horrendous,
lost
and they're going
to.
I was just about to say they're likely going to be without Micah Parsons as well. This is a game for David Montgomery to just take over. This guy is going to score 2 touchdowns, go over 100 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be used like absolute crazy. They are going to attack this defensive line. Whoa. They're going to attack the linebackers, and I don't think that the referees are going to be able to. They're going to try to call these hands to the face or maybe holding. There'll be a lot of holding calls, I'm sure, in this game because the Lions are going to be running the ball a lot. But I really see the fact that the Lions' rushing game is going to absolutely stymie the Jerry's World defense, and that's the way the Lions will win this game, is on the ground against that crappy rush defense.
Damn, we got the blue Kool-Aid on tap in here at Woodward today.
You know it.
Wow, I love it. How about you, Bray? Where are you at in this game?
With you, Bray?
I tell you what, I hope the Tigers have some of that energy that man Pete Spicer has over there. If that's the case, Guardians are in trouble. Look, I agree with everything you said, and I agree with KG. I think at the end of the day, teams have success against the Cowboys, even when they were at their best the last couple of years, when they do what? When they run the football at Micah Parsons. That's been the Achilles heel of that defense. Micah Parsons, when you run the ball at him, you can't pin your ears back. You can't go after the quarterback every play. The Lions, what do they do well? They run the ball, and they got 2 dynamic running backs and a great offensive line. So, speaking, Frank Ragnow should be back this week, too, although Graham Glasgow did a heck of a job in his stead.
You saw Ragnow's been punching Dan Campbell to show that his pec is okay. I love that story.
He is a wild man. I played with a guy named Ryan Tucker. He was our right tackle when I played for the Browns my first 3 years in the league. My second year in the league, in 2006, he played with 3 small fractures, in his spine, and also he had a partially torn pec.
Wow.
Linemen are just different.
Yeah, they are.
Linemen are just different. I don't care how small or how hairline of a fracture it is. A fracture is a fracture, and to have 3 in the neck.
You're not playing. You're not playing with the fracture.
One, I'm on the bench.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I told Tua he should have done. I'm gonna sit my ass down. Let's take a quick commercial break. And then we will get back for the last 30 minutes before the Detroit Tigers play Game 3. The Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan. Register for the 3C Sports League at bgcsm.org. Now, this is the league, man. It's time to get these kids out of the house. Get them onto these fields. We got to get the cheer. We get the football. And they also have other sports as well. Offers ages 5 to 14. Now, this includes equipment, meals, and transportation for all the chance to play at Ford Field. Same place for the Detroit Lions. $175 per child. And also, background checks are done on all the coaches, all the cheerleaders, all the staff. So your kids are in good hands with the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan. Time to get that fitness in check at Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Over 50 locations in metropolitan Detroit. They're the gym for everybody, and they're definitely the gym for you. Squeaky Clean Gym. Squeaky Clean Gym. They have a trainer with every membership that you purchase, and then also it's no judgment. You come in, you just work out, you just have a good time, whatever you want to do. Play your songs, whatever you want to do. Planet Fitness will allow you to do it. Planet Fitness, your fitness is essential. Oh, we're on the road today, baby. Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions. You know what goes well with those games? Wings, chicken, pizza.
Biscuits.
Biscuits, we'll get to those, Anson. Soroki's is the place that you want to do it, featuring the signature wings now. Boy, they got 7 immaculate flavors, and we've had them here in the studio. You've seen us eat them here in the studio. Chicken just slaps. Man, it just is what it is, man. Limited time on those signature wings, but then they also have the crispy chicken. They have the pizza pies, like New York style. And then, Anson, you can say it now.
Them crispy honey biscuits.
Gotta get the biscuits, baby. Soroki's.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Proof that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
And y'all know it's time to get the freshest merch in the game right now. Go to woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab. I can't tell you enough. We got some of the flyest merch there is, man. Tigers, they winning right now. You want to get in on that. Red Wings about to start. You want to get in on that. The Pistons, they got some hope, right? We believe in the Pistons a little bit. But We got Pistons merch too. We got everything that you need, and you know we got Lions merch on deck, man. So please go to woodwardsports.com, click that shop tab, and unlock a world of possibilities. And while you're doing that, why don't you sip on something, man? We got some of the best long drinks in the game right now, man. I know y'all done heard of Taller, the long drink that we smash at all the watch parties. The Dutch long drink from New Holland Brewing Company is shoulders above the rest. Hey, 100% grapefruit. We got small batch gin, everything that you need to get a good flavor with all natural ingredients. Taller is your local long drink. And if that ain't strong enough for you, then I promise
they better be paying you, KG.
Hey, man, we got some.
Paying you, KG.
Hey, they not paying me enough, but we got something a little bit stronger for you, man. Go to 1800 Tequila, man, the official tequila of Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila. Proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila, and please drink responsibly.
You know, Mike Hard 313 is asking in the chat what the best flavor wings, because he's putting an order to Soroki's in right now. What's your guys' favorite? Because they got that like peanut butter Thai flavor. I don't know what
lemon
that
pepper,
was.
baby.
Lemon pepper, and what's the other one? Garlic parm.
Garlic parm.
I'm a big garlic parm guy, so if you like garlic parm wings, they got
lemon pepper though.
Notice I always say lemon pepper for last in the read, so I'm gonna go with the lemon pepper. And look, and we know that lemon pepper has become the thing since Rick Ross went heavy on the lemon pepper. We know this to be true, but like, you know, like everybody's lemon pepper wings ain't good.
Wait,
that's fact.
Like,
that is fact.
Rick Ross. Just because you make lemon pepper wings and you got lemon pepper sauce, don't mean your wings are good. Soroki's, on the other hand, they are good.
They doing that.
Look, baseball, popular, best playoffs there is. That's what we said. Well, they're not letting us down. You see the Mets last night, they put the whooping on the Phillies, who we thought it was destiny for the Phillies to get back after what they've done the last 4 years. But the Mets and the never say die attitude, they didn't have to wait till the 8th and 9th for this one to be over. Pete, I know you watched it. What are you seeing out of this Mets team? Because like Anson said, or like I said actually, he said the Padres, this might just be a team of destiny, kind of like the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bray, because they're not only are they starting to hit, but you can see that locker room chemistry really coming into play, which helps really make a championship team. And that's honestly what's been the Tigers' biggest thing ever since they got rid of that bag of balls on August 22nd, Javier Baez. They've been a lot more of a conjoined group. They're telling the fans to F off. You know, I love how Tarek Skubal, by the way, got in trouble with his mom on that one.
Yeah.
But the Mets are looking really, really good, because the Mets are starting to hit the ball. And if you're going to start getting the Mets hitting the ball, like, you know, with Lindor, Alonso, and all the groups over there, that's not a team you're going to want to face in the World Series right now. And unfortunately, the Phillies might find out the hard way about a good hitting Mets team. And right now, the Mets are hitting well, and we know, Bray, because we're on text chains with Tommy, he's ecstatic right now, as you know.
Yeah, he's definitely ecstatic. Tom Masway is not with us today because he's where? He's downtown.
Of course,
enjoying Game 3 as he should.
Still ain't invited me.
We may get him to FaceTime during the watch party, get him in here. But Anson, any last thoughts on, or KG, on the Mets and Phils?
You know, I think that we're either going to see a Subway Series or we're going to see a repeat of 1984.
Yep.
I love both storylines. I'm always seeking to see that storyline that they're going to be talking about a week later. What makes the most sense? A repeat of 84 is awesome, but obviously New York's a big market, so don't be surprised if you see a Subway Series once again.
All right, there was another game last night, features the Padres and the Dodgers. Look, the Padres got off to a strong start, but the Dodgers made a run for it. Mookie Betts hit the 3-run shot. Shohei Ohtani had a couple hits in this game, but the Padres too much for him, including my man Fernando Tatis Jr. is just having himself a postseason. Hits his 4th home run last night on a 2-run shot.
Throwing balls at dugouts and everything.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, that's Manny.
God.
And by the way, Manny, he definitely threw that ball. I was wondering what was going to happen with that.
He threw it at the grass. It rolled up.
I don't have a problem with it because my boy had 2 RBIs and 2 hits yesterday. So Manny Machado and the Padres, you called it, man. It just seems like it could be another side of destiny. Padres, Tigers, 84.
Yeah, I mean,
they're the team. They're the best team in baseball right now, I would have to say.
Yeah, I mean, you get a little bit of they're still at Petco. They still call it Petco, right?
Yeah,
They changed it.
Petco Park.
You get a little bit of an advantage, pitching in Petco. They've got everything that you need. They've got horses. They've got bullpen. They've got big time hitters. But then there's destiny. And, the Yankees, they're not a destiny team. I don't think anybody – is there any team that you like watching lose more than the Dodgers?
Oh, the Yankees.
I like Stars, so I don't get off or get my jollies because the Dodgers lost. But the team that I don't like to win,
for me, it's just the amount of money that the Yankees and the Dodgers spend. There's nothing better than watching them lose, aside from, a corn and blue loss. But they're all way high.
You
up
always
there.
got to bring it up.
Michigan straight.
I got to. How'd they do this weekend?
You know what's funny? I actually don't mind when Michigan State loses. It's like it never enters my mind. When they get blow out, I laugh.
Yeah.
But if they lose, it's kind of like, all right, they lost. Like it's
I
not.
thought weren't we talking about Michigan? Why'd you bring up Michigan State? I thought they weren't on your mind.
We lost to Washington.
But you brought up State. We were talking about Michigan. I thought you don't think about them when they lose or win, but you are talking about.
You brought up Michigan, and we were talking about baseball.
Oh, you're talking about their roster or their rivalry with Michigan State? Because you brought them up.
You brought Michigan up.
I did.
So then I brought the rivalry up.
Okay, but you're talking about things that you don't care. Man, you can bring it up, but I didn't bring up State. I was talking about the teams that I like watching.
I got to hit that button on you.
And basically you said Michigan. I said, I don't mind watching Michigan State lose.
So you don't get excited watching the Dodgers lose when they've got so much money, so much control, and a guy who literally was gambling millions as we say goodbye to Pete Rose and he can't get in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think like you. Like I like Stars, and I want to see them do well. And when they don't do well, I'm not like, oh man, they had.
So
this
you
roster.
wanted the Lakers to beat the Pistons, then because you like Stars.
I'm a Detroit guy first, so don't ever take it.
Don't do that.
I'm a Detroit guy. Don't ever take it there.
See, I love the teams that aren't supposed to win. I love
like
the
Maz.
the major league Indians type of team.
Yeah.
Give me the dark horse underdog that doesn't have it. That's got a cast of Chauncey, Rashid, Ben. All of the guys that aren't supposed to be in the Hall
basketball.
of Fame. Yeah.
I like that in college basketball. Like college basketball tells a story.
NC State type of stuff.
See, I love that. 1984, I want to say. Or 83. Is 82?
83.
I was born in 83. It was 83.
Georgetown was 82. Yeah.
82,
No, he's right. It's 83. Brady's right.
No, I was.
It was the year I was born, so I got lucky on that one. But I like that in college basketball. But like in most sports, I want to see the best team win. Yeah. Because I want to see the team that had to get through whatever and it was good, but made it through, got to the end, and then they won. That's how the Lions are this year.
Listen,
What's the
unless
difference?
it says Detroit on that jersey, I want every favorite of all time to lose. Like for real. I
get it.
What about you, KG? You want the like favorite to win?
I'm a fan, and I know this is crazy, but Tigers fan first, but I've always had an affinity for the Yankees and the Dodgers. And those are two of the most choke artist franchises when it comes to the postseason.
Fan. Wow.
So, hey, relax. I'm a realistic fan, okay? But anyway, these are two of the most choke artist franchises when it comes to baseball in the postseason. So, yes, I was a little disappointed seeing the Dodgers go down. I really was trying to hold out hope for them. I mean, Jack Flaherty got bombed the other night. Walker Buehler in this one, 6 earned runs. He got shelled. It just seems like they don't have the pitching to keep up. And you got to give it up to San Diego. They've been a team on the rise for quite some time, and it seems like they finally getting their comeuppance. So,
are you a Lakers fan?
No.
Okay.
Can't stand the Lakers.
So you're breaking one bandwagon trend.
Yeah. I don't like all the front runners. Come on now.
My man.
Not all.
All right, here we go. Look, we got about 10 minutes until we switch this thing over to the watch party. Peter, take us in and take us out. But before we do, let's talk about this Tigers game. Look, this is game 3. Terry Skubal, phenomenal performance, and the team as a whole, especially the closers, Vest and Brisky, phenomenal game. Kerry Carpenter pulls it out. Well, here we are. We're back at home. How important, Anson, is game 3 getting this win at home? How important is it for the Tigers to advance?
I hate to say this, but I think that this game is the series.
Yep.
You've just taken the best closer in baseball. You got what a lot of people think was a hit, and a hard hit ball by Winsell in the 8th inning, and then you just attack this guy. This guy gave up 34 hits the entire season. This is a guy that doesn't give up home runs. So Cleveland, they've got to be mentally a little shook right now. This is the guy that closes games out for them. This is the unhittable young superstar in the bullpen. and we shook them.
Yeah.
So now you've lost your home field advantage. You're going to the greatest city in sports to try and steal a game, all right? And this game 3, if the Tigers lose this game, they're young. This could be an emotional blow to them where they could really struggle and maybe even lose 2 at home. I think the Tigers win today. I think that they basically win this series. It may not even go back to Cleveland, but a loss here in game 3, I still think that they could win game 4, but then you go to Cleveland in a really tough matchup. However, you do got a guy named Scooble who I believe would be pitching for game 5 for us.
Yes, sir.
To me, I really do see this, Pete, as the game that can break the back of the Guardians.
Well, it likely could, because the Guardians are going to come out, I think, in the first, obviously, the Guardians obviously going to try to win the game, but you're right, Anson. This series will be decided today once we see how the Guardians are going to hit. Let's see how their bats perform. Let's see how they come out after what they did, putting up a donut at home in game 2. If they can possibly get to Montero, which I don't think they can do at first, that's one that's going to be the key for them, because the Indians, Anson, what happened to them in game 2 of the ALDS was something that they weren't prepared for, Anson. What they saw is exactly what we did to Houston 2 times in a row. They weren't prepared for that. Houston wasn't prepared for that. It was like a storm hitting Cleveland all of a sudden out of nowhere. They weren't ready for it, and we came in and just ruined their ruined the 9th inning with that home run, and ruined their closer, ruined all their seasonal expectations, and that's what the Tigers are going to have to do in the first couple innings today. Montero's going to have to shut these people down. Whoever follows, coming out in the next, follows Montero will have to also do the shutdown game, because the Indians are going to try to hit, but they're going to be overswinging. They're going to be overswinging because they're desperate. So this is where strikeouts are going to come into play. The key for the Tigers winning is all going to be on the mound today, Kenny G. Oh, sorry, Brad.
The bats of the Guardians. No, you're good. It's the bats of the Guardians and keeping them off the board. But there's one player in particular, KG, and I want to come to you on that.
Okay.
Jose Ramirez has been a non-factor so far in this series. What say you in terms of keeping him out of the game? Because I got to imagine if they get him going, he's a spark for that team. How important is he in keeping him flush?
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Jose Ramirez so far. I mean, he's batting 167 in the series. I think he only had that hit in game 1 where they just piled it on the Tigers. But I think they've effectively taken him out of the game. And it's kind of hard to adjust to pitching when you're seeing a different pitcher every inning and a half. You're not really getting to see a pitcher 1 to 2 times, in the lineup when you go through it. So I think they've done a great job. I think you need to keep doing what you're doing. Kiter Montero on the mound today, but you are probably only going to see him for 2 to 3 innings, and then you're going to have somebody else. So it's going to be hard for them to adjust to the pitching. If you keep doing what you're doing, keep attacking the strike zone. I can't stress that enough. Don't be scared to pitch to Jose Ramirez, because clearly he hasn't done that well, and you have to make him prove it. So don't be afraid to come in that strike zone. Keep attacking them. Keep going after guys, and I think you will have good results.
KG, you and Pete, at the beginning, before the broadcast, you guys were looking at lines, and it looks like the over-under jumped from 6.5 to 7.5.
No, one from 7 to 7.5.
So thanks for that clarification, Pete. My question here is the Tigers seem to thrive in low-scoring games. If this game goes to 8 runs or more, is that in the favor of Cleveland? And is that a trend that if this game scores 9-10 runs, is that something that would hurt the Tigers going forward if they were to lose this game over the next 2? Because to me, losing a 1-0 game for the Tigers is promising. Losing a 9-6 game for the Tigers is worrisome for me.
Well, on paper, to answer your question, the Indians' bats on paper would be the worrisome thing, but that's on paper. So far, the Tigers' pitching has done well. Even in game 1, they did well. So honestly, I'd be concerned more of the bats. For sure. Kenny?
There's another question. I mean, obviously, I think the only players that have had success with Guardians really are the Naylor brothers and then Jimenez.
Ramirez, yep.
And 100%. The pitching. Pitching has been the thing for the Tigers. The pitching actually is the theme.
Pitching chaos.
100% of the Detroit Tigers. You look at it. Scooble, he pitched game 2. Phenomenal performance. He's done. What are the Tigers gonna look like today? Who do we know who's going? Is it Brisky?
Cater Montero.
Cater Montero. Okay, Cater Montero is gonna open. Now, who comes in after Cater Montero, and how many innings do you think? Is on the board? Is it a 2-2 system?
Listen, we had a Wizard of Woodward, but he was just the apprentice. Because what Hinch is doing is truly, he's a warlock. It's actual magic what this guy is doing. He's a wizard. And what you'll see is batter by batter, inning by inning, matchup by matchup. It's just going to be for that moment. Whatever comes up, wherever we are, I don't think it's predictable, Bray.
Yeah.
I don't think it is at all. And I think that that's probably the toughest part about playing this Tigers team is the management and the different pieces and tools that he can take and put in place each and every game, each and every inning.
KG, if I didn't ask this question, then I wouldn't be doing my job. Do we see Jackson Jobe in this game?
Not in this game, but you will in the series. I'm thinking tomorrow is when you are going to actually get your Jackson Jobe sighting. But two guys I'm looking at, Brant Herter and Sean Gunther. These are two guys that have come in after the opener or the starter has gone, and they've come in and put zeros on the board, man. You really like what Brant Herter's brought to the table, and I'm a big fan of Sean Gunther. I feel like he's been slept on throughout this playoff run. He has literally put up a goose egg against some of the best bats in the league. So I look for those two guys to come in after Kaiden Montero. Hopefully goes 2 1/3, maybe 3 if he's really dealing out there.
Coming right back to you, but wouldn't you want to play Jackson Jobe in a game in which it's a tied series versus the Tigers potentially losing this one, and now you're trying to put him in a game where he's already playing from behind? Just devil's advocate.
No, because one, I'm not really worried about him. I know he didn't have the best outing against the Astros, but he did get out of it. And the type of stuff that he has, he can compete at this level. Yeah. This is why they have him on the playoff roster, even though he's so young. You know, that fastball, that cutter, you know, that Dan Dickerson taught us about yesterday, that cutter is really dangerous. So I look for him to have better outings in the future. I think you want to preserve your arms as much as you can, but since this game is so crucial, it's tied 1-1, you want to have more experience on your side. So I'm leaning towards the experience side and maybe save Jackson Jobe for tomorrow when you really need him.
And so one last thing, you know, we talked to Dan Dickerson yesterday. And shout out to Dan, man. He's just phenomenal at what he does. Like he's just the best. He's just the best. But he talked about that performance of Jackson Jobe. You know, and I didn't think of it this way. He says the pitch barely hit the batter, like it just hit the inside sleeve. And then if you look
Zero replay on it, I still don't believe it hit him.
100%. So he was this close from not hitting the guy. Then you look at his hits. You look at the cutters, softballs, just random, just bloops in the field. He didn't necessarily pitch that bad. Do you buy that logic, or is that more excuses?
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Because I actually buy it.
First and foremost, the broadcast for the opening round was so bad.
Yeah.
They never cut to any replays. And, I mean, I don't know if it was by design because they gave him that base so quickly. They never showed a replay. Yeah. You go to Twitter,
funny.
It might have touched the top of the felt on the name of his team, and that's about it. But I look at it as a whole, not just one out or one hit or one, awarded base. This is a guy who just a month or so ago was playing in the minors, came up in a massive, massive moment in a playoff game, and they didn't lose.
Yeah.
He gained a lot of experience there. This is a talented young kid. That's a moment that if we lose that game, that could mess with him the rest of his career. But he got out of it. It's kind of forgotten, and he's got an opportunity to erase that mistake and actually be a big part of this postseason run for the Tigers still.
If he was a real man like Jack Parkman, he would have took that hit and threw it back to the pitcher and tried to get in there. What movie, Pete? Jack Parkman.
That's a deep cut, Bray.
I'm out.
Major League 2.
Yeah, the worst one.
That's the worst. Yeah,
that's Major League Part 2.
Yeah, that's why you stumped me on that one.
You say that's
not the one I watch very often.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But
the one is a classic, though. Yeah.
Two was good. Like, one was just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where it's the Godfather 1 and let me not do that.
Yeah, Godfather 3, though.
Well, two is the best one.
Yeah,
like, Godfather 2 is the best movie. But I was going to say 2 is so good that sometimes it's, anyway, whatever it is, whatever I was trying to say, I guess Godfather is the superior, so is Major League. But Omar Epps and Charlie Sheen, their acting was so bad, it was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pedro Serrano, man. Hats for bats.
They introduced the Japanese player, too, when they had the whole thing.
That's
Pedro.
right, in number 2, that's right. Oh.
Marbles.
What the Marbles.
He's doing them 100%, man.
You're the best.
Pete, what are the Tigers, and do you have a parlay for the people? Or
I don't have one on the screen, but Kenny G, I got an idea. Why don't you give them your parlay? Because Kenny G's parlay is very entertaining. Why don't you give them that one there, Kenny G?
I think he's got Riley Green.
Don't
get
get
me
Caesar
started,
Sportsbook,
man.
So we want you to get on Caesar Sportsbook.
right.
We want you to download it, and we want you to make these bets if you like them.
There you go,
Yes,
Bray.
sir. Oh, I got to log back in. Give me 1 second.
Scan that QR code.
I will wait on you.
You know what? $1,000. $1,000. What if I told you if you spent that and if you didn't hit, you would get your money back? I think I was crazy, but that's actually not the case. Caesar Sportsbook will allow you to do that. They are the sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Scan this QR code, promo code Woodward 1000. You can put that in now. Look, you still got about 11 minutes to place a bet, to get registered, get on, and make a bet on the Detroit Tigers or the Guardians if you're a Cleveland fan, but I doubt you are that. Woodward 1000. Figure we killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
You got it, Kenny G? I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you, Bray. You're the man, dude,
So,
Bray.
courtesy of Caesar's Sportsbook, I have a 5-leg parlay here. This is my safe parlay. I got a little bit of a wilder one.
Everybody has that wild one, and everybody has
You got to take a chance. You
like
got
the
to.
wild one's like a $5 bet.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's like $5 to win like $190K.
Yeah, but all right, what I'm cooking today, I got Riley Green, alternate hits, 1+.
Shocker.
I know, right? He's due for one. He is overdue, man. Kiter Montero, 1+ strikeouts. Kerry Carpenter, 1+ hit. Matt Vierling, 1+ total bases. And the Detroit Tigers money line. That is my 5-leg parlay.
What is that plus?
That's funny right there.
You said what?
What's the plus?
Plus 540.
Cool. 5.5 to 1.
Yeah.
So DraftKings is posting one. Quan plus hit.
We don't
Ramirez
do-
1.5.
We don't use
base.
DraftKings.
We don't do
We don't use
right,
DraftKings,
right.
sir.
Come on,
Yeah, sorry.
Sports
Sorry, it was
book.
just
Caesars.
on the TV.
Caesars
Sorry,
Sportsbook.
Caesars.
My bad.
Caesars.
That's an interesting parlay,
Caesar
though.
Sportsbook.
I'll talk about the parlay. Green 1 base, Carpenter 1 RBI, and then the other 2 I mentioned earlier. I prefer KGs.
Yeah, 100%. DraftKings is know what
That's
the hell
right.
we're talking about. That's
Right.
right. DraftKings. We are Caesar Sports. But I like that too. Now, I think a lot of people were trying not to bet on Kerry Carpenter. Think that he had that moment. It was nice. I think that just is getting him started. So I like all of them, but the Kerry Carpenter, I like that one. I would bet heavy on Kerry Carpenter today.
Yeah, big
100%.
It's like a 34th round pick or something crazy that kid was.
Now here we are.
Coming through and
the
having
star
that
of
big
the team.
moment.
You
Unbelievable.
know what? Speaking of that big moment's almost here. So I'm going to throw it to my man Pete. We're going to get resituated, and the watch party will start.
I appreciate it, Brad. Thanks very much, guys. Have you ever thought about being a volunteer but don't know where to start? You can start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle Campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have an option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. Virtual bell ringing sign up can begin fundraising. Virtual bell ringers can sign up and begin raising funds at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins on Friday, November 7, and runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com. Also, right now, Mark White is the man. If you are dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today, 248-290-8242 to make your home buying dreams come true, and also fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use the code word Woodward and get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Thanks to everybody today for watching the Ermanni and Edwards show with Maz. Thanks to Bray. Thanks to Anson. Thanks to Kenny G. The Tigers watch party coming up next right here on Woodward Sports in about 6-7 minutes. We'll see you then, ladies and gentlemen.